Hey, my loves. Welcome back. It's good to be back. Fully alive, whole and complete. Okay. Let's see what comes through. Let me angle you down just a little bit. There we go. Okay, so the way I would like to explain this, first of all, I'm Jennifer Rene. This is Within by Jen. If you have found my page, my channel, it's probably because you are on the verge of a massive breakthrough, or you have just had a massive breakdown, which is also a breakthrough. So please be mindful that they sometimes have to happen that way for us to change the trajectory of our living experiences. And what we're seeing being played out all over right now is a lot of truth being revealed. And so once you see it, you can't unsee it. And then a lot of times you're left going, where do we go from here? Because everything that we were taught in the system was a system based out of corruption and enslavement, and not living to the fullest of our capacity, to the fullest of our potential, using all of us to live and be in freedom. And so the system was created to keep us there, to keep us needing the system when everything that we need is already within us, and everything is always provided for us. And so if you look at it in a system that wants to keep customers, the way that we were actually designed and created, the beautiful way that the Creator made us, was to live in freedom without needing anything externally when we truly listen to our intuitive voice, when we listen to the guidance within. And of course, once we do that, we come back home to ourselves in the holy matrimony, and then we break out of the system. And it's quite beautiful, but it can also be a little painful. So I didn't really know the trajectory of this message, but I feel like that is the direction it needs to be taken. And so what I mean by basically unlearning everything that we have ever learned, because when you are a part of the system, if you can think of any movie that you've ever watched where they are enslaved, they are being manipulated and controlled, there's a lot of mind games going on. So to actually get out of that space, you have to be patient with the internal voices, and the internal voices that are scared, that they're afraid, they're nervous, they're timid, there's a lot of self-doubt that we face, there's a lot of fear of rejection that we face, there is a lot of fear of failure that we face, there is a lot of just kind of, really, it's the uncomfortable unknown. But also the unknown is where there's so much growth and expansion. And so if you have ever been a part of building a business, maybe you've tried to be accepted into college or a certain program, and you had to really face your fears. You had to really put yourself out there. And so there is a lot of things that we could have done in a specific playing field that have forced us to get outside of our comfort zone a little bit. If you've ever been into exercise, you've ever tried a new nutrition program, all of those are designed to push you out of your comfort zone. They're designed to make you face what you hold near and dear that is not healthy and is not serving you, and then really break through those spaces with clarity, with love. You look back and you realize why you thought you needed it in the first place. And then you realize that you no longer need that, because you know who you are, you know you're whole and complete. And that was only a Band-Aid, if you will. And so as we unlearn everything that we thought was real and true, and we dismantle the old, and then we fully step into the full expression of who we're meant to be. And what I also mean by that is the visionaries, the people that are so wild in their thought process, the dreamers, the ones that, but a lot of times we are taught to shun that because dreaming doesn't pay the bills. Well, we're here to dismantle that thought form because that's not real. And when we truly do dream and we allow ourselves to go after our dreams, if you can see with any artist or well-known book publisher, writer, singer, songwriter, any actor, actress, really going after it and really putting themselves out there. But also when you do so, you will put yourself in the public eye. You will put yourself in front of a lot of ridicule because people think they know you and they have no idea who you are. And so, yes, that is a process, but also you are free because you no longer fear what they think of you. You are who you are. And if anybody wants to sit in the beautiful space with you, you know, beyond a shadow of a doubt that you're with love and compassion. And what we're experiencing now with the divine feminine is that the essence of the divine feminine that has been suppressed and silenced for so long, she sees, okay? She sees through the veils and the masks and the costumes that we wear. And that's one of the reasons why it's so difficult working and integrating the divine feminine and also the divine masculine, because a lot of us were working out of a wounded feminine and a wounded masculine program. And so reweaving those back into our sacred space to allow the divine child within us to come to life, that is uncomfortable because, once again, you have to face all of your uncomfortabilities. You have to face all of those insecurities. You have to really face the ego and say, I allow my soul to step forward. I allow my soul to take the leading role in these spaces so that I can live in freedom. And that freedom is the existence of, you don't care anymore. And I don't mean that in a non-compassionate way. I just mean that you're going to be authentic, but you're going to live in integrity with who you are. You're no longer making excuses. You're no longer playing small. You are living in integrity with everything you are. And the outside world or the outside noise doesn't bother you because you're at peace. You are one. You are one with the divine. And so that's what we're working with right now. Massive shifts and changing. And so if you have landed here, we are here to guide. We're here to assist. We're here to help as leaders, as true leaders that want to teach us everything that we have is within. First and foremost, you do not need anything. You need yourself and you need to listen. A lot of times the voices in our head will play tricks, and it's hard to distinguish between what the correct and integral phase is versus the loops of suffering and the cycles of suffering. And so we're just here to kind of remove that and clear the air. And ultimately, we want each and every person that comes into our space to be able to step out into and on their own, living freely, living abundantly, living prosperity, living in prosperity. And so, yeah, I will close my eyes and see what comes through. This is always for our highest and best good and the highest good of all, through the divine will of Mother, Father, God, in the unity, in the Trinity codes of the divine sacred child that we are. Welcome, welcome, welcome. The new greets you with love and compassion. the work and dedication pays off. And as you lead and teach, guide those who are ready, those who hear the call into the great unknown, the wealth is now being redistributed back to the people. Back to the people that care, back to the people that want to see the communities thrive, that want to see the whole, that want to see everyone succeed and not only a select few. We offer you now the space to smile as you are fully receiving your divine inheritance. You are fully receiving as you, your cells, your body, your vessel is a complete and total light for the divine. We would like to point out to please remember that as you're creating with the unseen field, you have the power to slow it down or speed it up, to allow more to come in, to put it on pause. That is the blessing of creating your life through the divine, through intentional order, through the order of the divine will of God. Because you see, in now these times, you have gone through and through and through until breakthrough and the next wave of ascension is now landing and integrating into the very hearts and minds of humanity. They will be looking for true teachers. They will know when they find you. It is a feeling. It is a resonance of truth. It is a humbleness. It is a deep honor. There is nothing, no thing to worry about. The pure of heart reigns supreme. You now wear the crown. The light that resides in you our sacred space, now and forevermore. And so it is done, it is done, it is done. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you. Something I would like to point out, because this is a truth that I have really had to sit with, is even being able to utter these words, to speak these words to you, was something that I had to dismantle within myself to even feel worthy enough to say out loud that I'm here to be a guide and a teacher. And that, if you've been following me for a while, you hopefully have seen some of those videos. And so yes, when you find a true teacher, your ego will give you a million excuses, but your heart and your soul knows. So always follow that. Always follow that. Listen to your heart. It knows the way. We're clearing the pathways. In harmony and blessings to receive, and in accordance to the divine will of God. In order to fully receive, you have to be fully open, and being open is it is vulnerable. It can be uncomfortable and scary, but when you are finally safe in your vessel. You feel the protection in your vessel. You feel the safety in your vessel within who you are, within who you know you are. Then you allow yourself to blossom and open and grow and grow and grow. And because all the work has seemingly been on hold, and there's so much work that goes into it, once you allow that space to be open, and that can be with a teacher, with a guide, it is literally a propulsion forward into the future. It is a trajectory shift, timeline jump to where, because you've cleared the old, and it quite literally is because you're so close to the speed of light, to God's speed, that things move so much quicker. And the closer that you get to the center column of who you are, the quicker things move, because you're working and moving at the speed of light. You're working and moving at God's speed. So it's an honor, a blessing. If you feel called and you feel led to do a little deeper dive, you can sign up on my website, withinbyjen.com. You can fill out the contact information and what it is you're looking for. Once I receive that, I will send you a link to PayPal and Venmo, PayPal or Venmo. You can pay through that space, and then we will set up a time to work together. That is how I'm choosing right now to schedule my appointments, and because I don't want to have an open schedule where people can just clock in. I would rather the communication be with us, and then we work from there. So if you have questions, then you feel free to ask any of those on my social media. I'm an open book. But also, if you are uncertain, I would invite you to go back and watch any of my other videos. Go back and watch any of my other posts that I have done. And if you're feeling nervous, ask where the nerves are coming from. If you're feeling fear, ask where the fear is coming from, and go within and find that space within you first and foremost. And really ask, is this the right decision for me? Is this what my soul is guiding me to do next? And I would also invite you to go read any testimonies that are on my website. They could help soften some of the fear and some of the anxiety around stepping into a wide open space. So I love you very, very much. It's an honor and a blessing. I'm Jennifer Rene. This is Within by Jen. It's within each and every one of us. It always, always has been. If you are local and you would like to join a class, I will be teaching May 30th at Creative Spark Gallery. I'm so excited. And I will be looking for other spaces in the local areas to be teaching as well. But I do like to kind of hop around to the places that need my teachings the most. I'm also available, like I said, for one-on-one. And if you want to do a group session, maybe you have some friends that are feeling this and they would like to get together and do a sacred space with your friends, then you can also contact me. All that information is on my website as well under the contact page. So I love you, and I will see you all in the next video.